Joining me today is Maura Barthel out of New York. It's a privilege to have Maura with me. Out of an audience of more than 250,000 agents nationwide, Maura has been selected to represent Broker Agent Advisor as this month's Broker Agent of the Month for the state of New York. Maura, congratulations on the recognition, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to be recognized, especially for the state of New York. It's very competitive here, and it's such a fabulous state, and I'm so excited to be here talking to you and to be part of this program.
Cool. Well, I'm excited too. This Broker Agent of the Month program is all about, finding men and women that as a result of their being in the business is better off, and you are an easy pick. And I thought, to give those that watch this video a sense for who you are and maybe a little bit about why you were selected, we've explored a couple questions together. Let's start by real estate. Like, why this business? How did you get into real estate? Why are you a realtor?
Well, it's actually a very long road. I did not get into real estate until my 40s. I worked in advertising, cosmetics and fashion most of my career. And then I segued into styling, and I ended up in staging for multi-million-dollar real estate, 10 to $100 million real estate. And who wouldn't love real estate if you're working on that kind of real estate?
No kidding.
And then I ended up moving into real estate. But really, I think I started my love for real estate with my mom. She was the best unpaid real estate broker in our town growing up. She sold half of our town, and we drove around looking at houses our whole lives. We still do. She knows the inventory everywhere where we live. She knows the price of every house. She knows what everything sells for. And at 80 years old, we're still doing it. So I think the bug really probably caught me at a very young age, and it's still something I love to do with my mom. And I ended up doing it probably because of that.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you're here. It is, lots of people segue out of one career into this business. I mean, the reality is people find this business in lots of different ways, but most people discover that the business is a lot different than they thought it was, and it's harder. And a large percentage of people that get their license don't even finish their second year. And so here you are, and no doubt your mom was an inspiration for that. What do you personally find most rewarding about it? What fuels you about this business?
I think there are a few things that are rewarding. The steps along the way that are rewarding. The first thing I think is when you find someone their dream home. When you're I'm a buyer. I don't really list. I'm mostly a buyer. So when you find someone that dream home and you hear that, for me, that sound, that means that they found that place. That's the rewarding thing. And of course, the offer accepted is a rewarding moment. Clear to close, which I can't take credit for, are the three beautiful words here. But when you go out, out to dinner after and give them their closing gift, that's really a great feeling. But it's really like the Facebook message or the phone call that comes a month later, or sometimes I've gotten a call a year and a half later that just says, like, because I started working during the pandemic, was my first year. And people called me to say, thank you for telling us to go for it. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for walking us through it. Because it's, in my market, it's $1 million. It's their life savings. And they're trusting me to put that money down and to do it. And when they call and say thank you, and that they're so happy that they did it and they had that trust in me, that really is the most rewarding things. A lot of times I'm working with first-time home buyers, and during a financial crisis, to buy something over $1 million and to trust your broker that's really, I think, the most rewarding thing of all.
Yeah, that's super cool. You were obviously, I discovered in you a passion for others, right? This is a big deal for them, and it's important to you. And actually, I found one of your testimonials online, and I thought it would be helpful to listen to how a client of yours described that transaction from their perspective. It says, as a first-time home buyer during this stressful time, it has not been easy, but Maura made life so much easier. She was extremely responsive. She patiently guided me through every step in the process. I've learned a lot about how to choose the right home by going to house tours with her, and she always has her client's best interest at heart. She goes above and beyond to source the right listings and always gets the information I need right away. I highly recommend working with her, especially if you're a first-time home buyer like myself. There's a bunch of these online, Maura. And this, for me, testimonials, we all aspire to want to get this kind of feedback. But when we actually get it, it's a validation that we're living out and we are the person that we aspire to be. And I just thought it was a neat piece of feedback about you, and congrats on the kind words.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the exact testimonial I want. Like, she's guiding me, she's responsive to me, and you know, especially from a first-time home buyer, she's taking the fear out of the process.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, no one will ever forget their first home purchase, right? And so the fact that more of them are successful and fun with you bodes well for your future in this business. Talk to me a little bit about New York City. There's no one alive that hasn't heard of New York City. What's it like to live, work, and play and be in this business in New York City?
It's fabulous, and it's really hard. Everyone's going to tell you you're going to fail when you start, and prove them wrong. You will fail. Get back up and keep going. And I really I work in 3 boroughs. I work in Northwest Queens, most of Brooklyn, and all of Manhattan. And you know, starting during the pandemic, when everybody was starting to leave, I started to expand my social media, and I came up with a campaign. New York City is always a great idea, because people were leaving, and I wanted to remind them, you're leaving New York City. You know, this is where the Statue of Liberty is. This is where the Empire State Building is. This is the financial capital of the world. This is the theater capital of the world. This is the fashion capital of the world, you know, and I wanted to remind people of all those things. And then as people started to come back, I wanted to remind them, here are the small businesses, here are your little neighborhoods, here are these beautiful little townhouses, here are these little nooks and crannies, you know, here are your neighbors, here are your friends. And so it became a chance to explore New York in a different kind of way. And I've lived in the 3 different boroughs that I work in myself. So, you know, I'm a New Yorker to the core. And it really became a way to celebrate the city on social media, and I've loved doing it. I've really loved being able to do that, and I've gotten really great feedback, and it's taken off, and it's been really, really exciting. I've met a lot of other brokers that way. I think that's how I came to the Faces of, and broker agent advisor, actually. So it's been really great, and I love working in New York, and it seems simple to say it's a great place to live, work, and play, you know. It seems obvious, but it's also a hard place to live, work, and play. So you know, you gotta work at it, but it's the reward is worth it. The reward is 100% worth it. Yeah.
Look, when you're one of the best metropolitan markets in the world, lots of people want to be there, right? Competition is high. And so, yeah, you got to roll your sleeves up. You got to have thick skin. You got to be persistent, and all those things contribute to you finding success and being here with us in this moment.
And people will say, you know, if I had $1 for every time people told me that, like, brokers always fail in New York, you know, I wouldn't have to work ever again. But the thing, you know, one person told me, like, 80% of brokers fail in their first year in New York. And then someone told me, we'll be in the 20%.
Right.
You know? And then I always kept that in mind, like, okay, well, I'm going to be in the 20%. And every time, like, I would go a few months without making a sale, I'd think, like, I'm going to go in the 20%, or it's a pandemic and only, you know, sales are down 74% in New York. Okay, well, that means 36% are buying. Go find them. I don't know if I did that math right.
Close.
but you get my point, you know.
Yeah.
Go and find those people that are shopping. So, you know, that's what I did. And it's, you know, you just have to, you do have to be tough, but it's also fun. And when you work with the greatest people, you work with the most diverse group of people, and it's really a fantastic place to work.
That's cool. we've had the pandemic. We've had some unprecedented low inventory. It's been a crazy time for you to get started. It's been a really challenging time for real estate, but yet here you are, and here we are. Based on what you've learned in the little bit of the time that you've been doing this, if you were to give a single piece of advice to a peer in this business, or maybe somebody thinking about getting into this business, what would that piece of advice be?
One piece of advice I would definitely give to someone who's starting is get a coach, invest in a coach from a reputable place. Don't find someone on Instagram who's taking a selfie of themselves saying they're the best coach in the industry. Find someone who's a reputable coach. And the reason is because I eventually got a coach, and I actually did not become that much more successful because of my coaching, but I know why. Because I can look and say, I did not make the calls. I can see exactly what I did and did not do to become more successful over the 6 months that I was with my coach. And if you have a coach over 6 months, or if you have a coach over a year, you're going to see what you did and what you did not do. And if you do everything, you will become more successful.
Yeah.
I did launch my social media campaign, and I did become more successful because of that. I did not make the calls, and those numbers did not go up. Things in real estate are measurable. And if you don't have a great mentor at your company that's guiding you, and if you're like me and you started real estate just out on your own, trying to figure out how to sell real estate, you can't do that. You are your own business. You're not just working for a company. You're running your own business, and you need to build a foundation. And a great way to do it is to have someone holding you accountable every week. And I really do think it's worth the investment. I think it's a great way to start.
I think that's great advice. Maura, it's been a treat to get to know you a little bit. Obviously, we've got some geography between us, with me down in Atlanta and you up there in New York, but it's a privilege to help you be seen for your mindset and your perseverance and your contribution to this business. And obviously your clients adore you. So congratulations again on the recognition, and I wish you nothing but success the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate being able to come on and talk today.
Good stuff. It was fun.
Thanks.